with our feet hip distance apart and our knees resting against each other in a restorative bridge. And placing one hand on our heart and one hand on our belly. And closing our eyes. And just focusing in on our breath. Noticing how we feel. Noticing our breath. So today's theme for class is close your eyes and imagine the best version of you. That's who you really are. Let go of any part of you that doesn't believe it. So as we're exhaling, let go of any of our doubts about ourselves. Release them. They don't serve us. They don't help us. They certainly aren't moving us forward in being the best version of ourselves possible. So just breathing into that space, finding the best version of us possible. What does that person look like? What does that person act like? What are some beliefs about ourselves that we can let go? They don't help us grow. They don't help us flourish. And as we're breathing, just coming into this space and into this moment. And giving ourselves just a little bit of time for some self-care and self-practice. And when we're ready, bringing our knees into our chest, wrapping our arms around our shins, and just giving ourselves a big hug. Giving the best version of ourselves a big hug. And rocking gently side to side. And then extending our legs and arms long, stretching out. And breathing in, we're going to bring our right knee in and give that knee a hug. And then lifting the left foot, switching feet, bringing the left knee in and giving that a hug. And moving side to side. Rama wants to play. Yes, hello, big doggy. And just letting that foot that's going along hover above the floor. Come on, puppy. And then bringing our feet back in, hip distance apart with our knees up to the ceiling and our fingertips behind our ears. Inhaling as we lift our head, feel our abs start to crunch, and exhaling as we lower back down. Oh. Shitty doggy, go lay down. Go lay down. Stay over there, be a good boy. And then letting our head come back down to earth, bringing our hands outside our hips. Inhaling as we roll up into bridge. And exhaling as we roll back down. Being very gentle on our body. Everybody's here today. We've got Coco the kitty and Rama the puppy. Making one more flow up and down. And then bringing our knees back in, just grabbing our knees one in each hand and making circles away from each other and then back toward one another. Inhaling as we open up and exhaling as we close and return our knees back to center. And then switching direction of those circles, opening out to the side and coming back in. Bringing our feet back down and turning onto our side, making our way up onto our hands and knees. With our hands under our shoulders and our knees under our hips. Inhaling as we arch through the back, looking up with the crown of the head. Exhaling as we tuck our pelvis around our spine. Coming up and down. Rama, no, don't eat my hair, please. Thank you. Or lay down, lay down. Lay down. And then pressing our hips back into child's pose. Setting our forehead down, either keeping our arms long for extended child's pose or bringing them by our ankles. And then gently just letting our temple rock side to side. And if our arms are not already out, bringing them out in front of us and just opening wide, making starfish hands. And as we inhale, bringing the shoulders over the hands and the hips low, tight with the belly and tight with the booty. Exhaling as we go back. So taking a flow between a kneeling plank and child's pose. Taking one more flow forward and holding our plank. Exhaling as we gently lower ourselves down to the floor. And then inhaling, taking a baby cobra up. Exhaling down. Moving with our breath. And on our next inhale, pushing down with our hands, popping back up into our plank, and then coming back into a flat back. We're going to tuck our toes under our feet, and then lift our knees, press our heels to the floor, and find a downward facing dog. Pedal out our feet, drop our heels down, and lift them up. See where we can create the most length in our upper back, dropping our ears deep into our elbows. Extending our legs long, lifting our hips, and then walking our feet into our hands, softening our knees, and gently tucking one elbow in the other and finding ragdoll, swaying side to side, shaking our head no, shaking our head yes, releasing our hands, softening the knees, inhale as we circle sweep all the way up, reverse swan dive, coming into Tadasana, into mountain, releasing the hands down and rolling the shoulders away, back and down. And then rolling the opposite direction. Taking a moment to be grounded, feel connected to the earth. And then opening along the long edge of our mat, turning our toes to the corners of the mat, inhaling up, finding five-pointed star. And exhaling down, bending knees over toes and elbows over knees. Taking a flow into moonflower, moving with our breath. As we peek down, our knees are tracking right over our toes. And then shifting our hands to our thighs and hinging forward, keeping our knee bend, bending and extending, moving into sunflowers. Maybe it feels good to reach to the floor, or maybe we're just supporting our hands on our thighs. Breathing deeply, taking one more flow up and down here. And then exhale, releasing the hands. Stepping to the top of our mat. Turning our toes and knees facing the same directions, hip distance apart. Inhaling up. And as we exhale, coming into a flowing chair. Reaching out, pulling in with the belly. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And we have lots of choices for arms. We can keep our hands at heart center. We could reach out. Just listening to our body. What feels good best today? Taking one more breath, moving into our chair, and then coming back into mountain. Rolling our shoulders, maybe right and left, and then switching direction. Freeing up any tension that we're feeling. Coming back to center, taking some lateral flexion. Inhale as we extend our right arm up and our left arm down. Stretching them as far apart as possible, and then on our next breath in, switching sides. Inhaling as we come up, exhaling as we come down. Feeling the stretch through our side body. Hold on 1 second. No, you don't chew that. There's no chew toy. I think 9 o'clock is the doggy's like, I want to play an hour. Because when I teach yoga at 10 o'clock, he's just chill. He sleeps. Coming back tall. And then inhaling, open the chest. And then we're going to exhale and find the opposite. So our chest expansion, we're going to come into chest contraction, back expansion. Exhaling forward, inhaling back. Kind of a little bit of a cat-cow spine, but adding that the arms that go with it. So palms are facing each other in the front, palms are facing each other in the back. Maybe we're sitting into this a little bit to round forward. Coming one more time to the front. And then stepping up, making sure we're at the top of our mat, setting up for any variation of a sun salutation. Maybe we want a modified version, maybe we want a full sun salutation. Taking a big breath in. Exhaling as we hinge forward. Stepping back with our right foot or knee. So either on our foot or on our knee, inhaling as we come up into a lunge. Kneeling or full lunge. Bringing our hands back down. And then bringing our knee back, stepping back into down dog or child's pose. Inhaling as we come into a plank, either kneeling or full plank. Exhaling as we come halfway down, Chaturanga Dandasana. And then inhaling as we press up into up dog or cobra. Exhaling back into child's pose or down dog. Bringing our right foot forward. Finding our kneeling or standing lunge. Inhaling up. Exhaling down, tucking our left foot and stepping in. Hands on our shins, breathing in as we come halfway up, monkey pose. Exhaling, release, soften our knees, circle sweep our arms up into mountain. Exhaling into chair. Inhaling back up and exhaling as we take a swan dive down, stepping back with the left leg. Either standing or kneeling, inhaling up. Exhaling down, bringing the right knee back, coming into child's pose or down dog. Finding our vinyasa flow, inhaling as we come into a plank. Exhaling down, and then inhaling into up dog or cobra. Exhaling back. Bringing the left foot forward. Returning to our lunge. Exhaling down, stepping in with the right foot. Hands on our shins, coming halfway up. Exhaling down, soften our knees, circle sweep the arms up. Exhaling into chair. And inhaling as we come back up into Mountain Tadasana. regrounding, feeling strong, listening to our heart dance in our chest, or maybe putting our hands on our heart and feeling our heartbeat. Stepping back with our right foot, opening our hips to the corner, taking a big breath in, and as we exhale, sinking our left knee right above our foot. We're going to bring our hands to heart center and turn toward the left foot. So a modification of a warrior one. We're focused on personal growth and being the best version of ourselves. So as we stand here as warriors, imagining ourselves, close our eyes, and picture ourselves as the best version of ourselves. All of the values and emotions that come with that. Inhale as we press our hands up to the sky. Exhale as we fan out and turn our right foot, finding our warrior two. And taking our flow today between side angle and reverse warrior. Inhaling as we hinge forward, bringing our left elbow to our thigh. Exhaling as we come back, bringing our left hand overhead and our right hand to our thigh. So coming between side angle and reverse warrior. Taking that flow and noticing where we feel that in our body. On our next inhale, unwinding back to warrior two, turning our palms down, extending our left knee, and then taking a flow front to back over the left foot. Inhaling as we hinge and reach our fingers. Exhaling as we come back. Imagining our arms are on a table and they're sliding front to back. And we're just moving through our hip, tilting our upper body forward. The next time we're forward, holding right here, holding that hinge, dropping the left hand and bringing the right overhead, arriving in triangle, and either looking up to the hand or down to the hand, whichever one feels better. Maybe we're taking the back of our hand against our inner shin to open up our heart a little bit more, or we could also bring an arm behind us and find a half bind. Taking one more breath here, softening into the right knee, inhaling as we reach up with the right hand. We're going to sweep all the way overhead to the floor, lift our right heel, and on our next breath in, inhale up, sweeping our arms, interlacing our fingers and pointing to the sky as we come into a full crescent lunge. With our fingers pointed upward, imagining we're channeling all of the best energy that's above us and pulling that right into the crown of our head. Taking one more breath here, pressing up, turning the heel in, turning our heels to the corners of the mat, and then finding a 5-pointed star as we breathe in. Exhaling either into moonflower or sunflower. Taking a flow here, or maybe both. Taking one more flow up and down. And then let's step in with our left foot. Turning our left foot to the corner of the room, our right foot parallel to the long edge of the mat. Taking a breath in and then exhale, sinking into our right knee. Bringing our hands to heart center and turning, facing the same direction as our right toes. Finding this gentle warrior one. Maybe we're placing our hands on our heart here. What are the things we value about ourselves that we want to grow and nourish and help support? Taking those values, those emotions, inhaling as we lift them up, exhaling as we expand our hands, turning our left foot perpendicular and finding our warrior two. So we just filled all the space with these emotions, opening our heart, opening our chest. Virabhanasana 2, the second warrior. Feeling that power there. And when we're ready, inhaling as we hinge forward, finding side angle, resting our left elbow, right elbow on our thigh, exhaling as we roll back, reverse warrior, and taking a flow between those two things. Moving with our breath. Taking one more flow back into our warrior two, and then straightening out our right knee. Inhaling as we hinge over the right toe, and exhaling as we come back. Finding that long flow, that long reach. And on our next inhale, let's hold here. Exhale as we bring our right hand down and our left hand up, finding triangle. And we can either stay here, we can bring our left elbow behind us and look up to the ceiling, finding any variation of triangle that feels good today. Maybe we like the half bind, maybe we want our arm high. Trying to shine our heart forward and to the front. Taking one more breath here, softening our right knee. And then inhaling as we sweep down with the left hand, lift the left heel, sweeping our fingers overhead, interlacing our fingers, pointing to the sky as we come into our crescent lunge. Our left heel's up, our right heel's down, knees and toes pointed the same direction. Again, breathing all of that good, scooping it up out of the air around us and bringing it into the crown of our head. And then imagine gravity helping bring those values down all the way through the body. Let it permeate and sink into every cell. Taking one last breath here. Inhaling as we open up, turn our toes to the corners of the mat, draw our heels together. Finding our five-pointed star, and again, taking a flow through moonflower or sunflower. Or both. Coming back up, and then walking our feet in. We're going to be hip distance apart. We're setting up for airplane. Taking a big breath in, reaching our palms together. As we exhale, coming all the way down into a flat back. So finding that space where our spine is nice and long, pulling in with our belly to help support the back. And we can either keep our arms out to the side or bring them behind us with our palms facing each other. Or if this doesn't feel good and is a little difficult, we could always put a block down on the floor and support it, or use a chair or something else to help support our airplane. And as we inhale, lifting our heels. As we exhale, we're going to just let them drop back down. Taking one more flow here, dropping down, softening our knees, and then scooping up, bringing our hands to heart center as we sink into a deep chair. Rama sees himself. Hey, it's okay, it's just you. Taking one more breath, coming back to mountain. Placing our hands on our hearts. Hey. You're fine. Go lay down. Placing our hands on our heart. I'm going to change my screen view so he can't see himself. Stepping back with our right foot, toes and knees pointing forward, taking a big breath in, reaching forward. And as we exhale, reaching behind us, wrapping our arms, opening our chest, pulling our belly in tight, looking up, and exhaling as we hinge forward, bringing our nose toward our left knee. Finding pyramid pose. Maybe closing our eyes. As we exhale, getting a little deeper, feeling that stretch in the backs of both legs. And then inhaling as we start to begin lifting the crown of our head, unhinging back to upright. Releasing our hands and stepping back into mountain, closing our eyes. Turning our palms forward and just noticing sensations in our body. Breathing into that space. And then stepping back with our left foot. Inhaling as you reach forward, palms facing each other, and exhaling as we scoop back, grabbing our elbows, drawing our breath in, arching the spine, looking up, pulling tight with the belly. Exhaling as we hinge forward, slowly bringing our head toward our right knee. Finding pyramid on this side. And seeing maybe one side has more flexibility than the other. Breathing into that space in the backs of the legs. Maybe closing our eyes. Inhaling as we start to unhinge, lifting the crown of our head slowly back to upright. Exhaling as we release the arms and step our feet back into mountain, turn our palms forward, close our eyes. Just let our body readjust. Gently shifting our weight into the left foot. Inhaling as we unweight our right knee and lift it up, flexing through the knee and the ankle. And either staying here, or we could always tap a toe down if that feels better. Inhaling as we reach up with the left hand, and then touching our pointer finger to our thumb, finding crane. Staying tall, grounding through the left foot. And imagine that we are pulling up through the crown of our head, like a tree sucking up water all the way through our body to lift us tall. We're feeling that through the bottom of the foot, up through the legs, up through the hips, through the torso, up and out the crown of the head. Taking one more breath here, inhale as we extend the right foot, bring our palms together, exhaling as we lower down into heart center. Let our right and left sides readjust. Shifting our weight into our left foot. And weighting our right foot, inhaling as we lift unweighting our left foot, lifting our knee up, flexing our ankle, and finding our crane on this side. Inhaling as we come up, pinching together our index finger and our thumb. And if we notice our shoulders are up high, relaxing the shoulders down. Finding that same root strength through the foot, up through the body, out the crown of the head. Inhaling as we extend the left foot, bring our palms together. Exhaling as we come down into heart center. Inhaling as we circle, sweep, and exhale, taking a forward fold. Now once we arrive forward, we're going to turn along the long edge of our mat and open up our feet. Our toes pointed in the same direction as our fingertips as we come into a flat palm, standing straddle. And maybe we want to heel toe out a little bit so we feel this in the inner thighs. We could stay here with our hands supporting us. We could use a block. We could drop down to our elbows or our forehead. Finding that standing straddle, feeling this work in our inner thighs. Gently walking ourselves back up. And then walking our hands over to the right foot, turning our right toe out. Maybe letting our hand rest on the floor, grabbing our ankle. Feeling that stretch through the backs of the legs. And then walking our toe in and our hands back to center, turning the left foot out, walking ourselves over to the left leg. And then bending the left knee, lifting the right toe and turning it to the sky. And we could stay here. We could push down with the left heel, inhaling back up, exhaling as we sink into the right leg and lift the left toe. Taking a flow side to side. Or we could just hold on one side 3 or 4 breaths and then switch. Coming back to center, and then gently bringing one leg underneath us, dropping to a hip, extending our feet out in front of us, flexing through our feet, finding staff pose, sitting tall, stacking our vertebrae. So maybe we want to put our hands behind us to help support a tall staff, or place our palms down on the floor. Feeling a little bit of chest expansion here in our staff, so we're sitting nice and tall. And then when we're ready, inhaling out. Let's hinge forward, reaching toward our feet. Bringing our nose toward our knees. Inhaling back up. Drawing in the left foot. And reaching the left hand all the way up as we exhale. We're going to wrap it around the left knee. Inhale back with the right arm. One of the variations of Marichyasana. So make sure we're tall and then adding that twist. Breathing in. On our next inhale, rotating forward, wrapping the right arm around the knee. And then as we exhale, twisting through the opposite direction, looking back over the left shoulder. Flexing through the right foot. Inhaling as we come back to center, extending the left foot, drawing the right foot in, wrapping the right arm around the knee, sitting tall. Inhaling as we turn back, looking over the left shoulder. Inhaling to center, wrapping the left arm around the knee, sitting tall, reaching back with the right arm, looking back over the right shoulder. Inhaling back to center, bringing our feet sole to sole, making a diamond with our heels, knees, and hips. And finding a gentle butterfly, inhaling as we extend our spine, and as we exhale, hinging forward. And just being loving to ourselves. We're not pushing forward, we're just going to find a gentle stretch in the hips. Just that hinge, and imagine that our spine is up against a board, so just wherever we can feel that straight, long back. And then on an exhale, releasing just the neck and shoulders. Inhaling as we come back up. And tucking a knee underneath us. We're going to come up onto both knees. Maybe we want to tuck our mat underneath our knees for a little extra cushion. Coming all the way up tall with our feet hip distance apart. Standing tall and making fists with our hands. Inhaling as we open up and bring the fists just above our hips. Squeezing our elbows together. Finding chest expansion opening. Leading through our heart. And then as we draw our breath in, arching back. Expanding our lungs and our heart. Opening them up. Closing our eyes as we find camel. And if it feels good, maybe we want a full expression of camel. If our back feels like that is going to be good today. If not, holding here. Honoring and listening to the body. Inhaling as we come back to upright. Release our hands in front of us and then press our hips back over our feet, finding an extended child's pose. Palms into the floor. We're at our humblest self. Inhaling as we come back up, bringing hands over shoulders, or elbows, shoulders over hands. And taking any variation of a cow and cat flow that feels good. Maybe it's just our normal cow-cat, or maybe it's hip circles, or maybe it's chest barrel rolls. What does our spine need to feel good today? Maybe we're bringing one shoulder towards the hip. Feeling that laterally. What feels best on our spine? And then when we're ready, walking ourselves down to a hip and making our way onto our back, walking ourselves down, walking our feet back underneath our knees, setting up for bridge with our hands palms down on the floor, inhaling as we roll our hips up. Holding our bridge, closing our eyes. On our next exhale, slowly, let's return to earth, vertebrae by vertebrae. And then drawing one knee and the other back into our chest. Reaching up and giving ourselves a hug, grabbing our shins, and just letting our knees rock side to side. Working our way gently to our hands behind our thighs with our palms grabbing in and just opening up our knees toward our shoulders as we rock. Coming into center, and then as we inhale, flexing our foot to the ceiling, finding dead bug. Exhaling as we pull our knees a little closer toward our shoulders. And if this doesn't feel like a deep enough stretch today, maybe we want to reach to the outsides of the feet and find happy baby. Or we could hook 2 fingers on the big toe and extend our feet wide. Finding a big toe hold. Any variation that feels good today. We want our hips resting on the floor the whole time. We could rock. Letting our hips remain earthbound, grounded. And then releasing our feet back down to earth. Opening up our knees, letting our soles come together and touch, and letting our palms open up. Finding a supine butterfly and just taking a few breaths here. Breathing in this moment, this feeling. And then drawing our knees back up together, opening our feet wide along the edges of our mat, and letting our knees fall together in a supported bridge. Maybe we want to open up our hands a little bit more, or maybe we want to keep them low. And as we're breathing, thinking about what position we want to find ourselves in for final relaxation. Maybe we want to stay here or go back to butterfly. Or maybe we want to extend our feet long, finding Shavasana. Or if you've never tried taking Shavasana on the belly, maybe rolling over onto your belly, stacking hands and setting our forehead down on the hands. Giving yourself a different variation of final relaxation today. What is the best version of ourselves that we can give, that we can be, that we can own? That's who we really are. As we exhale, letting go of any part of ourself that doesn't believe it. Staying here for a few more breaths. And then when we're ready, making our way onto one side. Propping ourselves up on our side and making our way back into an easy seated position. Sitting tall, stacking our vertebrae, maybe taking a few shoulder rolls in any direction that feels good. Coming back to center, inhaling as we reach out to the side, overhead. Palms together, exhaling as we come back to our center. Breathing in the very best part of ourselves. And as we exhale, letting that be, letting that part of ourselves shine. Thank you for sharing class today.